Hey, folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. This video for Tuesday, March 27th, 2012 is sponsored by Realtik. All right, let's get right into the mix today. The markets are flat on the day. Spiders up 10 cents, Dow up 3 points, Nasdaq up 11 points, and the S&P 500 up about 1 1/3 points on the day. Bottom line is this: you had a monster rally off of Bernanke yesterday, and the markets are sitting back, consolidating. Volume is ridiculously light as we approach the 2:30 time frame. We are trading 72.5 million on the SPY. So again, we saw 100 million traded on the SPY yesterday. We're probably on pace for about 110 to 115 million today. That is still in the lowest ranges of 2012. 2012 per volume has been the lightest in many, many years, all right, that we've seen in this market. And again, what does that tell us? Well, I mean, partially it tells us that the institutional participation is very, very low, which should be a little bit of a warning sign. But the fact is, as long as Bernanke's going to do his best to prop the markets up, he can drive it higher. And that's what he did yesterday. I mean, calling a spade, he comes out and essentially gives the market a rally on hot air as he says, hey, I'm willing to do QE3, QE quantitative policy easing, which essentially is printing more money. Therefore, assets of all kinds, like even stocks and commodities, must adjust upwards if they print more money. As the dollar declines, all assets need to be valued higher. So again, it's a false kind of sense of security, but nonetheless, it does cause the equity prices to go up. Interestingly enough, we got some housing data today, which still showed housing is very, very weak. Prices continuing to fall, as the Case-Shiller Index reported this morning. All right. Looking at the markets across the board on an intraday basis, we made a little bit of a high early in the day. Since then, we've kind of, again, just kind of floated to the downside. Be interesting to see if we get any sort of buy program later in the day. We've been seeing these buy programs come in late in the day very often on the markets, and in light volume even more so. With the volume today, you have to wonder if we'll see any sort of float. One thing I can do right away is you can just take a little trend line right here, and you can see where we currently are, folks. If I connect the highs of the day, you're just hovering right on this trend line right now. I would say if you get above that, you have a good chance of going to the highs of the day, which is not saying much. I mean, the market would barely be up at that point, but it would be up just a little bit where it was this morning. Okay? Looking at key stocks, what's moving today? Apple AAPL up $7.75, coming off the highs just a little bit, but again, it's trading up about 7 and change. Bottom line is you're still seeing, possibly a little window dressing, although I'm not necessarily sure that's exactly what's driving it over the last 24 hours or so. But again, we saw a nice pop yesterday afternoon and that rally continuing. More than likely, this pop yesterday was initially started off a little bit of positive news out of Apple, and then ultimately the squeeze took over. And then I think the squeeze continued today in the early session, putting it up right here. And since then, you've just been going sideways, holding the top. So again, my guess is, again, you have a little short covering going on there, and overall institutions aren't necessarily selling a ton of Apple to cause it to fall yet. Therefore, you have that neutral to upside bias continuing on that stock. Looking at Amazon, Amazon continues to rip higher here. If we go to the daily chart, you can see this breakout. This was the triangular pattern that has just continued to excel to the upside. Here was your breakout out of this triangle pattern. Right here happened about a week and a half ago or so, and from there it's just been off and away. Now I did give out a level in the intraday stock chat, which was at the 110 level right here. Beautiful little pivot top. You can see how the stock has stalled right into that. That's from a pivot low in here. If you blow through that level on Amazon, you probably go here as your next resistance. All right. So again, 210 on Amazon is your resistance, which we're into now, and then ultimately, if it gets through, you're going to the 220 and a half, 221 area, which would be your next spot. If it by chance gets through that, then you're talking about a move to approximately 226 and a half, 227. Okay, so those are your resistance levels on Amazon on an intraday, well, I should say on the daily basis. Looking through my watch list, those are the main leaders. Apple and Amazon are driving tech today. Really, everything else is just flattish. IBM's up 30 cents, no big deal there. Microsoft's flat, up 4 cents on the day. And even Google. Google's up $3 on the day, but Google actually came into my next big level here, which is very, very important to see, at the 653 level. All right, so you're right into that 653 level on Google right there. So again, 653 right there. And again, you can see that's that pivot from the first new trading day of the year. If you get through that, this will be your next spot on Google. But I actually expect Google to kind of stall here. And anytime the market starts to come down, Google should fall off this level pretty quickly. All right. Looking through my watch list, financials are kind of a mixed bag today, mostly weaker. And again, it's interesting how Apple and Amazon are driving tech today, which is helping the market stay neutral to positive, but you don't have financials participating. And a good example of that would be Goldman Sachs trading down $1.15. GS symbol GS there. You can see it's kind of had a pretty rough day actually from a gap up and has just gone south. Beautiful bounce off the 200. I mean, per scalping levels for day trading purposes, that's just a beautiful scalp. All right, and again, you could actually see a time count here too as well, coming right into that level and then the bounce. But nonetheless, the bounce off the 200 right to the 20, still down $1.17 on the day. JP Morgan is bucking the trend slightly, trading up 14 cents, but even that is not looking that healthy. I mean, it's not a strong move. You're actually making lower highs here, as you can see right here. And again, a nice little trend line connecting the high pivots on the intraday chart of JP Morgan Chase. Looking at Bank of America continues to be weak, down about 20 cents. I still think Bank of America has topped out at the Pierce of $10. I gave that call out to my members. You can see it popped, pulled back, and then popped back up there yesterday and pulled back again. And it seems like that $10 level seems to be a very significant resistance point on the stock. Looking through my other watch list, we have more Mastercard down a couple dollars. I put out some new trade alerts last night for those members inside the Research Center. Research Center has a 7-day free trial, folks, and again, those levels are out there for the Research Center members. You can look at them, you can trade them off of those levels. I gave out master levels, I think, on 5 stocks that are great shorting opportunities. So again, good stuff there. I see 1 or 2 hits of those levels today out of all those stocks, and again, there should be a pullback on those plays following those hits. Going back to the spiders, let's take a look at the SPY. Again, SPY up 7 cents on the day. There's really just not much going on here on the SPY itself. More so on individual stocks, it appears that there's more action in the market. All right. Let me just scan through, see if there's anything else I want to talk about, but I think that's just about it for now, folks. Again, it's a light volume sideways action type day, but again, it's the stocks themselves, the stocks like Google and a couple other ones that you want to be paying attention to as they come into master levels and be aware of those levels and, again, utilize them appropriately to make yourself profit. If you want to come here and take the 7-day free trial, folks, it's inthemoneystocks.com. Swing traders are geared towards the Research Center. And if you're a day trader, you want live intraday analysis, you come over and join us here in the intraday stock chat. Have a great afternoon of trading. I will be returning to the chat room and doing some trades this afternoon, and I encourage you to come and check us out. Take care, guys.